Yes, my people, what's going on? We're going to jump into some shoulder mobility today. So if you ever experience one shoulder being less mobile but then the other, for instance, might be a simple exercise like circling your shoulder around like that. You might get some like clicking sensations and stuff like that in your shoulder. Or if you're just simply holding out something light or even something heavy, if you're into weights, doing shoulder press, you feel a bit unstable in your shoulder and you feel weaker in your chest, all of that could possibly be linked to weak rotator cuffs. It's really, really common. Rotator cuffs are a band of muscles that wrap around your shoulder blade, and in the name, they're needed for any rotational movement. So whether it's an external rotation, internal, whether it's a larger circular movement, or if it's an overhead press, all of these things will trigger the shoulder. Okay, so we're going to go for 5 simple banded exercises. That's going to help you mobility. Alright, so the first one, really, really basic. We're going to circle around and then we're going to pull through up to your chest. Okay, so when we look at mobility exercises, you normally want to try and do between 10 and 15 reps on everything. So for me, I'll be honest, I'm lazy. I don't really like doing mobility exercises. I prefer getting into the proper stuff, whether it's lifting weights, whether it's doing a bit of boxing, whether it's doing calisthenics, animal flow. That's my style of training. So the mobility is really a means to an end, but it's important and it always improves your overall training goals. Alright, so what I do all of my mobility exercises kind of in between work, as I'm doing right now, or before I train. I don't normally take longer than 5 minutes to do them. Nice and simple. And we'll go for one more. Okay? So for this next one, you can use either a band like this, you can use a bigger band, a smaller band, as long as it's quite light. You don't want to go too heavy with this one. So again, you can either wrap it around something, like I've done with my wrap. If not, just so we go from just hold it nice and simple. So we're going to get the elbow tucked into the ribs, and all we're going to do is rotate away. As you can see, I've created a right angle from my forearm to my bicep. I'm going to try and make sure your body's square on, okay, so you're not sort of lopsided, not one foot in front of the other. And we're just rotating around your shoulders. Again, just trying to look at that small circular motion. A common mistake people make with this one is trying to over-rotate, and then they'll twist their hips. Alright, so don't get confused or don't get a little bit lost if you feel the movement's quite small and you feel you're not doing much. So where you want to be feeling that is all around your rotator cuffs. You might feel a bit of tension in the lateral portion of your shoulders, around here, and that's okay. So obviously you'll do the other side as well. So the next exercise, we're going to come for a high row and then an overhead rotation. Alright, so this one's a little bit more complex. So I'll go side on so you can see that out of the way. So again, I want to be sort of square on as much as I can. So I'm starting from my arm straight. I'm going to pull back. So now my elbow is level with my shoulder, and then at this point I'm going to rotate upwards and then push back through. So with this one, what I like to say to people is imagine your elbow is fixed in on the shelf here, and you don't want to drop beneath that shelf, yeah? And then when we're here, really try and visualize the ball and socket joint in the shoulder. So it's ball and socket joint essentially like that. So we want to be rotating around that, yeah? Okay. So as we rotate, again, I'm not trying to over-rotate, I'm not trying to pull back too much. I'm making sure that my wrist isn't just sort of rotating and pulling. Keeping that movement in my shoulder, coming back, like so. So again, go for 10 reps. Look, I'll be real, half the time I forget the amount of reps I do. As long as it gets to a point where it's straight, as long as it gets to a point where you feel that muscles that triggered, fired up, then normally you're good. Yeah, unless you're going for some really specific training, like powerlifting or something like that, you normally want to try and get really spot on for reps. Obviously, when I'm doing sets of resistance training, like squats, and it's for a specific goal, like over the hypertrophy, then I look at trying to get 8 to 12 reps in 3 or 4 sets or something like that. Yeah? Cool, so we'll do both sides on that one. So the next exercise, I like to call it the Queen's Wave. It's a bit of a cringy name, but one of my clients named it that, so I like the name. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to come back and forth yeah, and up and down. Alright, so this one, it looks simple, but it's quite tricky. You want to try and keep the elbow level with the arm. First of all, we're going to tuck the elbow into the ribs, and then we're just going to travel up, okay? So what you'll find is, on your predominant side, so I'm very much predominantly right-handed, it'll be really easy, okay? Your nervous system will be more connected that side, your mind muscle connection will be greater that side, whereas on the other side, just doing that simple movement is going to be more challenging. So I'll show you what it will look like on the left-hand side, and I'll do a little comparison on the right just so you can see. So with this one, once we go up and back down, that counts as one rep. Okay, so just pinching onto the band. So I'm starting off just by pulling back and forwards, making sure the band isn't dictating my movement. Okay, and then when I get used to that backwards and forwards motion, then I lift up, and then I begin to come down as well. Okay. So almost imagine you've got like chicken wings, yeah? And you're just doing that motion there in the back of the shoulder. Alright, so it's the back of the shoulder that does all of the movement. And then we begin to travel up, and as we move up, that's when we will begin to activate our rear delts, our lateral delts as well. So the back and the front and the sides of the shoulders. Okay? Again, that may not be 10, I don't think it is. But just for the sake of example, we'll go to the other side. Cool. So I'll go from this angle here and across my body. Ideally, you want to go straight up, just so you can see me. So as you can see, this side's a lot easier. I'm flowing with the movement. So like I said, I'm very much right-sided. Yeah. So just the simplicity of doing the movement is easy for me, and I haven't had any traumas on my right hand side. On my left hand side, I'm suffering a little bit from past traumas on my shoulder. Cool. Last exercise that we're going to do, really simple. We're going to just take out the band. Again, you could use the other blue one that I was using earlier, and then we're just going to go for a lateral raise. So with this one, this is an area that most people will miss out, or they just do if they're, again, lifting weights. They just do it with heavy weights coming out like that. Alright, but we want to do it with a banded exercise as well, so we can get both the concentric and eccentric movement, so basically the negative and positive movement, moving up and down. Yeah, really good again for building stability and control. So I'm going to turn my little finger up, extend out, and then really slow and controlled on the way down. You might find that you need to do this with a heavier band. Okay, again, so common mistakes that I see with this one is people go up too high with the band, or they come down too quick and they won't have any control in that lowering phase. But that's where you get all your stability, okay? So you get your strength as you push away, and then your muscles will get stable as you come back in. So again, we're trying to go for 10. So normally here I'll keep roughly at 45 degrees, and then extend up until my hands level with my shoulder, and then come back down. Cool? So there's 5 simple exercises, guys. Give them a try. Hopefully it will improve your mobility. Try and do them as much as you can. Again, saying doing it daily, I know how hard that is. So my thing will be looking at doing it at your most convenient times, looking at doing it before you're going to train anyway, because you're already in that mindset, you're already in that practice. And see how you go on. So with mobility exercise, it's all within your joints. Yeah. What will help the mobility will be doing your flexibility work. So there's links to flexibility, there's different videos that I've done on flexibility. So flexibility comes within the muscles. So that's just realistically static stretches, more yoga-based stretches. So trying to pair both of those is really going to help you. Alright, so the next one.